Hundreds of protesters have been out on the streets in London demanding that their government stay out of the international air campaign against ISIL in Syria. Prime Minister David Cameron says bombing the armed group is one of the only ways to keep Britain safe. But critics want him to consider a political solution first. As Niamh Barker reports, politicians are expected to vote next Wednesday.
Outside Downing Street, the first of what organisers say will be a tidal wave of protests. For now, the crowds are modest. But as Parliament prepares for a crucial vote on Syrian airstrikes next Wednesday, these demonstrators, including politicians, musicians and film stars, want their say.
In my lifetime, I've not seen violence promote peace. I don't think we accept it in our families, in our workplace. We don't accept it between a man and his dog. We don't accept it between parents and children. Why are we even contemplating the idea that violence is the solution to this?
We certainly should be tackling ISIS, but the way of doing it is not to go and bomb them, which is exactly what they want and which would dignify their position, but to start trying to stifle the money that's going to them.
The Stop the War coalition accused the government of having no clear strategy when it comes to Syria. They say that 14 cumulative years of bombings in Afghanistan, Iraq, and now what's happening in the Middle East only threatens to inflame tensions even further and bring more bloodshed to Europe's streets.
On Thursday, the British Prime Minister launched a campaign of his own to persuade lawmakers of the need for airstrikes. British bombers have already been hitting ISIL targets in Iraq since last year. He said the fight against ISIL in Syria shouldn't fall to other countries.
We shouldn't be content with outsourcing our security to our allies. If we believe that action can help protect us, then with our allies, we should be part of that action, not standing aside from it.
2 years ago, David Cameron wanted to launch airstrikes to oust Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. That vote was defeated. But after the attacks in Paris, France has been assembling a coalition of the willing to destroy ISIL, seen by many as posing a more direct threat to national security. This was the scene in 2003, when a different British government led by the former Prime Minister Tony Blair wanted to invade Iraq. It was the biggest protest in British history against a war many saw as illegal.
Don't bomb Syria!
Today, the Prime Minister says airstrikes are needed for self-defence, and a growing number of people believe him. Despite this opposition, it's a vote the British government thinks it can win. Niamh Barker, Al Jazeera, London.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.